Hello, and good morning. It is Sunday, 17th of May, and we are streaming a Legacy Challenge, which we haven't done for a while. Hopefully all my tech is working properly, but if there are any audio or buffering issues, just shoot me a message in the chat. That would be much appreciated. Thank you. Yeah, I haven't streamed for a while. Have had a fair number of other things going on. But today, my wife's away. It's a public holiday. Tomorrow it's Victoria Day. So, yeah, can have a nice chill stream. Play some Energy, which I have not been playing much online. I've been playing it at FNM's, which has been fun. And there have been a few developments. You will see that I am playing green, just one Savannah, to splash once upon a time. This is to make finding your keycards more consistent, and also allows you to shave a land, which is nice. And I'm trying this new Agate Instigator tech, which people are already trophying with 4 copies of this card, which I think is a little excessive perhaps, but it was actually on my list to try last year, and I never got round to it, because I found Sand Scout first, and I didn't want more 2-drops at that time. I was trying to find a good 1-drop to play, which I've kind of given up on now. Although the closest thing's probably Stadium Headliner, which some people have been playing recently as well. But when reading this card, I found it on Scribefall. It's a commander card. It reads as being pretty powerful in the shell, and apparently it is. Apparently it's very good. So we're going to try out a couple of copies today in that sort of flex slot that I have. And then we're also splashing green for Galactic in the sideboard, which is particularly good against Tron. I would say that Energy is facing some challenges in this metagame. Tron and Show and Tell are tricky matchups, Tron especially. The tempo decks are grindier now that they have flow state, so you don't just get to auto-win those matchups quite as often. And the flow state's also helping out Show and Tell and Doomsday and stuff like that. So I think there are challenges, but I think the deck remains competitive. It's just very efficient. And the more tempo there is in a field, the better it should do. So we will see how we do today. It's been nice, because I haven't been playing that much. It's been nice to see the community coming together and being able to read about other people's experiences and find that information useful, rather than having to roll my sleeves up and get into the streets all the time. So if you're not in the Energy Discord, the Ocelot Pride Discord, then you better get in there, because there's some really valuable discussion going on in those channels. I think lots of strong players are testing lots of things and sharing ideas. I don't think I agree with any one player on every single thing, apart from maybe Della L, who doesn't play online. But I still find individual things useful to hear about. So if you're not in the Discord, there is a link to the Discord, an invite link in my Energy Guide, and you can find my Energy Guide pinned on my Blue Sky. And I think all of you have my Blue Sky, so. You need a 2-mana 2/2 with the Thalia ability attached to it. The thing is, that card, I mean, that would be a great card, obviously. That card still wouldn't be good against tempo. Like, you would still side that out against tempo, which is fine, because Pretty much anything I'm playing in this slot, I'm siding out against tempo. But Agate Instigator, at the very least, is like being a linear, powerful card. Like, will do good work in game 1 against tempo. Whereas if you play like 2 Thalias, or whatever imaginary Thalia-like card you have, and you draw both of them in your game 1 against tempo, you probably lose that game. Because they just ignore it or push it or whatever. But it would be a fantastic sideboard card, I agree. And not having to splash. I mean, Teague, I think, is like one of the best hate bears of all time. Obviously, it has significant misses in terms of Doomsday and stuff like that. But also not being sort of compelled to splash fatigue. Having a white card that did a similar thing would be good. I've liked the Once Upon a Times, though. I think I probably wouldn't... I wouldn't play green for either half of these, but I'm very happy playing green for both of them, if that makes sense. So if it gets to the point where Teague is no longer a good look, and we may be getting there, I don't know. It depends how this Tron deck does. I think Teague is genuinely very good against Tron, because, like, what are they going to do? They have to draw Dismember if you have it on turn 2. I could see going back to red-white and playing more Instigators, or trying the like 2-2 split between Instigator and Stadium Headliner, which is sort of pretty mid card, but it's at least it's a 1-drop. One of the things about Once Upon a Time is it represents extra copies of your good 1-drops. So I don't know how many extra copies. I don't know how you would do that math, but. This is Stadium Headliner, 1-1, mobilize 1. And then you can cash it in late to kill something, maybe. Mobilize is a good keyword in this deck. Mobilize 1, not as good as Mobilize 2, but mobilize is a good keyword. The other problem with playing red 1-drops is that you end up having to get red mana on turn 1 more often, which is not necessarily what you always want to do. It's one of the reasons why I was kind of liking Legion's Landing, because it was a white 1-drop, and it also gave you an extra white source later on. But if we can do better than Legion's Landing, then I'm happy with that. Sideboard-wise, my sideboard is not great, to be honest. It'd be nice to have some flutes or something, maybe instead of priest. What I'm trying at the moment is I'm trying to play sideboard cards that I can hit with Once Upon a Time, even if they are worse sideboard cards, because the extra consistency should make up for the lack of power. And I do think that Containment Priest gives you something to aim for against Oops. I don't know how common Oops or Reanimator is right now, but it gives you a plan, right, which is to find Fairy early and then find Priest later. One thing I have been thinking about is playing Price of Freedom, which is the land destruction effect, over some of these shatter effects. Again, to help against Tron, but for now I'm happy to just rely on the Teagues instead. And play this kind of weird mix of shatters, because they give you a bit of broader coverage, you know. We're going to play round 1. We'll reveal Gigantha, always on Gigantha. Oh, we get to try out Instigator this game, maybe. This hand looks a little reactive, but, you know, if you're just assuming you're against the blue tempo deck in game 1, then it's a great hand. So I'm certainly not going to mulligan. But if this is a combo matchup or something like that, then, you know, if we're against Show and Tell, this hand just doesn't do anything. So we'll see. Simian Spirit Guide. Yeah, you can't play Simian Spirit Guide and Amp Raptor in the same deck, really. Yeah, I mean, I could say the same thing about Simian Spirit Guide. Baruia Noir. Let me just turn my dehumidifier off, because I think you can probably hear it. I haven't minded hitting Once Upon a Time with Raptor or having Once Upon a Time in my hand on turn 4 so that I get to Once Upon a Time into a good 2-drop. I haven't minded those lines at all. It's good card selection in the mid-game. So I've been enjoying the way it plays out. Because you have some very powerful cards to go and get, right? Like, I'm very happy in a situation where we've both traded resources and we're kind of in an attrition game. I'm very happy to pay 4 mana for an Amped Raptor or 4 mana for an Ajani. Because those cards are just great cards. So. But we'll see how it works out today. I wouldn't hate the idea of just going back to straight red-white. Hopefully my opponent joins the game at some point. Der Lumbersack. I want Mums back won't happen. What about a few Giver? Giver of Runes. Yeah. Giver of Runes just not very good. The thing about those kind of protection effects is that they don't do anything unless your opponent is being reactive. Yeah. So let's say you play against combo, they don't do anything. Or let's say you play against natural order, they don't do anything. Right? If your opponent has a proactive plan that is better than yours, then the protection effects do nothing. If they are reacting, then you can just play an extra threat instead, right? It's like if I play Give of Runes and I play another creature, my opponent needs 2 removal spells. If I just play 2 good creatures, my opponent still needs 2 removal spells. And then I can draw either of those creatures without having anything to protect, and they're still good. So that's another knock against those effects. And then the last thing is sweepers. They just don't do anything against sweepers. And that is how people fight this deck. So I know that, like, in D&T, Kozilek's Command helped kill Mother of Runes because D&T has creatures that are worth protecting, like Stoneforge Mystic. Right? Like, protecting your Stoneforge Mystic is really big game. This deck doesn't have any cards that you want to protect apart from, like, sometimes Ajani, and even then not really because he already brings a 2-1 with him. So, like, what I'm saying is that even if you... even if those cards were good generally in the format, I don't think this deck would play them because they're just not aggressive enough. This looks like Show and Tell or Doomsday. This looks more like a Doomsday Island than a Show and Tell Island to me. I don't know. With Petal, probably doesn't have Wasteland. Am I playing that or am I playing Instigator? I think I'm playing that. Because I'm not likely to hit swords. So we're just going to jam Raptor here. Try and get some pressure on. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. Because that deals instant damage with Instigator next turn. Show and Tell, okay. Well, we might get lucky here. Sort of depends. I'll put in the prison. Yeah, they have the sneak attack. So we probably just lose. I guess I could have put in a Johnny. That wouldn't have helped. Yeah, I'll hit the sneak. I mean, if it's a track, so we might be okay. Yeah, it was Emrakul. Okay. Yeah, okay. You can have this game. I'm not really interested in continuing to play. I mean, we could keep playing. They would have a sneak attack in play. They would have. I guess I should keep playing. I guess I'm supposed to keep playing. I can draw land, and then they can draw nothing, but it's very, very unlikely, right? I'm not losing much by continuing to play. They might lock themselves here. Now they have red mana. Something in my eye, actually. Ponder. Shuffle. Yeah, I mean, they'd have to draw nothing for forever. Yeah, okay. I guess I can get the information. So you have Fluster. You have Sneak. Yeah, it just looks like just Sneak and Show. All right, not a great matchup round one, but we have games. So we have Blast, we have Priest. We'll bring in Wear Tear, and I think we're bringing in Teagues as well, although they're not fantastic. They're fine. Malfunction I don't think does anything. No. So let's bring in these. And then I'm just going to take out Scouts and Swords. Hello, Life. Instigator is fine. Okay, I'm just going to go and check. My dog is not happy, so I'm going to go and check on her. Be back in a second. Yeah, I'll reveal this. Well, that's too late now to bluff. I'm going to come back and think about that hand. Okay. So this looks like a keep to me on the play because it's just aggressive, and aggressive is good. So yeah, we could get nuts, obviously, but I'm going to keep it. Could get Savannah here. Does that make any difference? Am I going to want double red? I might want double red because of Blast. Maybe we get Plains in case they have Magus. I haven't seen Magus out of a show and tell deck for a while. I'm not sure you would play it in this matchup anyway. Ponder? Okay. Is that better than Ponder? I don't know. I guess we'll Mountain Raptor. Yeah, that seems good. So, again, this is a nice start. We could just... We have nothing. We have no insurance in hand, so we could just lose to Show and Tell. But if they have to, like... I mean, I'm expecting... No turn 1 play makes me think that... And no force makes me think that they are just going to Show and Tell us. Unfortunately. Because they would have had to just keep something unimaginably slow to just do nothing on turn 1 and have no force. Interesting. What are you doing? Why? What is happening? What did you keep? Did you just keep, like, Sneak Attack, Simian Spirit Guide or something? Yeah. So, can we kill them here? Fire magic? Fire magic. Maybe. Fire magic is what? 2 damage to everything? Let me just think about the kill first. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Puts you to 9. Play second Ajani. Flip this one. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 creatures. Oh no, because I don't get 2 flips is the problem. I don't get 2 flips. I only get 1 flip because one of the Ajanis dies. Ha, that's funny. If I played Quarry last turn... Yeah, if I played Quarry last turn, I could double flip and kill. Ha. Usually Brotherhood Zone, yeah. I actually punted by not playing Quarry turn 2, because if I had 2 Quarries, I could flip Ajani twice and kill them. That's crazy. What about adding extra damage with Guide? It's 1 more, right? If I do it first, but it plays harder into Fire Magic. Seven, 8, 9, plus 4. Hmm. 13, yeah, I can only put them to 4, I think. What about if I play a Raptor instead, then? Yeah, let's do that. So let's Raptor. I'm not gonna try and play around the Fire Magic, because I think by playing around the Fire Magic, I could just lose to their next turn. This thing, yeah. So what I can do now... I'm actually going to put the counters on the Ajani, because that plays around Fire Magic. Because I can flip it in response. How much would I do? I would do 5... I would do 10. 15. Yeah, I think this makes sense to me. I think I can put them to 2. This way. And then they can't use their tomb. I'm just going to do this now. What do you have? So yeah, I missed lethal by not playing Quarry, but I did put them to 2, which is probably as good as. Okay, well they have City. What now? Okay. So their hand was just too slow. Whatever they kept. Whatever they kept, it was too slow. Interesting. That's why I quite like just keeping aggressive hands on the play, because that type of thing often happens. And if they had gone like, if they had kept something that was like turn 1 ponder, turn 2 stock up, then that's even an even better game for me, right? I will reveal a Giganta. You don't have to. Ooh, 3 blasts. Okay. I mean, I'm gonna keep and see what happens. I'm gonna keep this and get sneak attacked. 100%. 100% sneak attack hit rate. I wonder if they did have fire magic. You would have done it in response to the trigger, though, because then you would have another turn. Oh, jeez. This is actually the turn 2 sneak attack. Oh, my God. It's so upsetting. Because I can't even, like, play priest through force or anything. It would have been, yeah, you just do it in response to the Guide of Souls trigger to kill the Ajani. Oh, I have Parlor in my hand. Oops. Sure. So what am I doing here? Yeah, he only needs 2 damage to kill Ajani in response to the Guide of Souls trigger. So he had that up if he had fire magic. Ajani has 2 toughness. So if I just play priest, I'm dead to any counter magic and I'm dead to any removal. If I play Caracas, I'm pretty much dead to Atraxa. And I'm also mega dead to any red source. Yeah, I just have to jam priest. There's no other play here. They had like... I mean, I joked that it would happen. It's still annoying that they didn't play a single blue spell. And now I have to tap out of my 3 blasts, but this is life. They just force this and win, I think. Okay. So they have second red source, so they can go like... Okay. Hi, Conrad. Okay, we didn't die. We did not die. I'm wondering if I play Caracas or if I want to have all 3 blasts up. All 3 blasts probably not necessary. So I think we Caracas... If we Caracas at the very least, they will need to use both red sources in 1 turn, right? Because they'll need to... Yeah, okay. I think we Caracas... Is there anything to play around here? The only thing would be like a red flash creature. It would be like Sulfur Elemental or something. I'm not playing around Sulfur Elemental. Okay. This is also the kind of situation where Priest is actually almost better than Flute, depending on what hate they have, like if they have a Braid or whatever, because Priest is at least clocking them. Stock up? Yeah. Counter target spell if it's blue. Okay. That is an Ajani. What do I want to do with that? I want to keep Blast up. Don't want to keep both Blasts up. I think I should play the Ajani. They obviously don't have Force, so I only need one Blast up, right? I think I only need one Blast up. I guess they could have Soul Land double stock up. That's very unlikely, because they also haven't played a land. And they must have drawn the stock up that turn, right? Yeah. So I think we're okay leaving up one Blast. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fetch the Savannah. Play the Ajani. I'm not tapping out of Caracas. I don't know. I feel safe leaving up one Blast. Because if they draw a red removal spell for Containment Priest, and they have Emrakul in hand, I'll want Caracas up. A second sneak attack. Or Simian Spirit Guide Fury, which would be kind of a disaster. Brotherhood's End. Also kind of a disaster. Wrath. Okay, so we're probably just dead now. Having Quarry out would have been better than having Caracas up here. Can I Caracas my Ajani? Or will I'll just lose to Red Source. But I probably lose anyway. Because I need to draw an answer to this sneak attack. Like right now. Oh, I have Quarry. I can Quarry back the Priest. Okay. So it's a question. Okay, so they must have drawn the Brotherhood's End this turn, right? Otherwise you would just Brotherhood's End last turn, surely. Surely? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe they held it and they wanted to stock up into a third red source so they could do it all in the same turn. That might be the case. I'm wondering whether I need to save the Ajani so that I have pressure. No, I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. So what I do is I leave the Caracas up in case they have red source now for their Emrakul. And then I untap Quarry Priest and I have a 4/4. Yeah, because they have a land drop, so they could play a red source. Okay, so they didn't have the land, maybe. Okay, so God, Quarry is a machine. Another reason why Priest is better than Flute, I guess. So what I will do now is I will Quarry my Priest. Which does tap us out of Blast. Petal would also kill me, yeah. This now survives most of their removal, right? They need a bounce spell or they need Fury. They do get to resolve. Oh, they had a bounce spell. I didn't have Pyroblast up because of the mana. Damn it. Okay. So now we take out a red source. And we're in big trouble. Oh, man. Brotherhood's End and Brazen Borrower. With no cantrips. Okay, I need Caracas. I'm just wondering whether to buy Giganta. I think the answer is no, because we need to keep holding up Blast and Caracas anyway. So now any red source kills me. Atraxa probably kills me. What is going on over there? Did you just not ever have a creature? Okay. So now the question is, do I surveil or do I buy Gigantha? What helps me here? Wasteland would help me. Wear Tear. So that's 4. That's 3, 4. What else would help? Static Prison, 6. Containment Priest, 7. So about 7 cards help. And the others don't really. So I'm going to buy... I'm going to buy Gigantha and hold up Blast and Caracas. Because Gigantha is a 2-turn clock. Possibly even 1, depending on how they use this tomb. So what I don't have now is double Pyro. Man, I thought we might get there with this priest, you know, when they passed. Yep, okay. Who is it? It's Traxa. So we're dead to this because they just get a second red source and Emrakul probably. So this petal will kill us, I think. Hi, Runkel. Traxa, Lotus Petal, Show and Tell, Sneak Attack, Volk. So I'm just going to let this one hit me. They have a Show and Tell, they have a Petal. They played the Volk. They just didn't take Brainstorm. Interesting. Sure. There's the Petal. So they have another Traxa. I drew a Wasteland. Traxa will hit me down to 2. The only thing that's saving me from Emrakul right now is this Caracas. And that's directly proportional to the number of red sources they have, so I guess I'm supposed to Wasteland. But then I can't play anything. Whereas if I play Gigantha, I can hold up either Caracas or Pyro. Pyro's not really doing anything. There's also this thing, which could actually kill me, technically. Yeah, tough one. Kind of a tough one. I don't think we're going to win this match, unfortunately. I am going to waste. I don't know how to win this. I can't see the line. That Borrower when I was tapped out of Blast as well. So there's the Sneak Attack. Here comes the Atraxa. Revealing. Omni. They have a Pyroclasm in their deck. Interesting. So I'm going to have to go to 2, which sucks because then this Borrower will kill me. Just takes Force of Will Delta Pyro. Why aren't you taking the cards that you're entitled to? Can any Show and Tell players explain why this person wouldn't just take Omniscience there? Force Delta Pyro. Maybe they think they've already won? I mean, I guess they probably have. Casting Brainstorm. Do I pyro that? I don't think I'm allowed to pyro that, because I think I have to pyro this and the force. I'm gonna let that happen. Yeah, I'm kind of relying on them just never drawing Emrakul. I mean, how many do they have? 2? I don't know. I mean, if I was relying on the never drawing Emrakul, I should probably blast this. But I think, genuinely, I'm dead to Borrower plus Force, so I need both blasts. I don't know. I'm just kind of hoping they brick. I think I have to... and again, I could try and crack assist, save some life, but I just can't let them have infinite Traxes, so I just have to go to 2, I think. Sucks. But yeah, this is what this matchup looks like when you're losing, basically. You go to clean up. Probably... okay, so you got rid of Pyro and Show and Tell. We drew a creature. We did draw a creature. Keep that. They have 3 red sources. They don't have a way to shuffle. I guess this is death then. Gristlebrand. Interesting. Well... how many cards would you like to draw? Why wouldn't you draw before combat? That doesn't make any sense, right? Surely you just draw 14 cards before combat and then put in Emrakul and I die. Like, what has this achieved? Realistically. I guess you're going to put it in my end step? That doesn't really do anything. Just try and Raptor. You going to force this? You are going to force this. Show and Tell. I will... yeah, I mean, they can Brazy B, which I guess technically kills me. Except it doesn't now. I guess I'm attacking with Guide. I guess the problem with attacking with Guide is you can just block it with Gristlebrand. Right? You just tap red, put in Gristlebrand, and then what do? Can't bounce the Gristlebrand. So I guess I just say go, right? I don't know. Again, I don't know how to win this game. I have no plan of attack here, really. Doesn't play the Brazen Borrower. Doesn't put in the Gristlebrand. Do you think they finally worked out that they can just draw 14 cards and kill me that way? I think they might have worked that out. Yes, I believe they have worked that out. It took a turn cycle, but they worked it out. Yep. Yep. Nothing I can do, right? Can't block either of them. Can only bounce one of them after combat. Yeah. I mean, that was pretty close. They needed a few different things there. And like, yeah, Containment Priest dies to Pyroclasm and Flute doesn't, but both Flute and Priest would have died to Brotherhood's End, and Priest I could get back with Quarry. So that game makes me feel better about having Priest in my sideboard over Flute. We just couldn't quite get there. And we had the 3 blast opener, which like you can't mull, but then the maximum punish, which was first play of the game, was sneak attack. So yeah, it would have been pretty sick to blast the borrower, but we just didn't have enough mana. It's fine. Needed Simian Spirit Guide. Don't put Simian Spirit Guide in this deck. That was fun though. There was game there. It was kind of a perfect storm, wasn't it, that match? Because game 1, I said, this hand's very reactive. It'd be good against tempo. If we're against show and tell, we'll lose game 1. We were against show and tell, so we lost game 1. That's what happened. Game 2, I was like, this is fast enough to win on the play. It was just fast enough to win on the play because they very obviously had like a powerful turn 3 that they just didn't really get to. And then game 3, I was like, well, I'll keep 3 blasts, but if they have sneak attack, we'll probably lose. And then they had sneak attack and we lost. So if I had Quarry open, I did think about that Firecracker, and all that gives me is 2/1s, right? That doesn't really help me. I think it means that they end the game at like 5 life instead of 14 life. But they had a Pyroclasm. They had a Pyroclasm that they discarded to hand size. I don't think the Flip to Journey was doing anything in that game, to be honest. And I still prefer, like, even with hindsight, I still prefer keeping up Caracas Red Blast during that turn and not having Quarry open. So I'm not unhappy about that. We just got unlucky in that match. I think we played it pretty well, to be honest, if I may say so myself. Any Cradle gamers? Haven't seen much Cradle recently, Runkle. In you go. Seems to have dropped off a bit. I guess it hasn't really had any new toys recently. Yeah, I can't see any. There's 3 matches still in progress. Yeah, I mean, although we lost the first round, I really liked how the deck was working. Right, felt like we were putting up a real fight, and it makes me feel more confident about the Once Upon a Time creature sideboard plan, because I felt like the cards were doing their thing. We were humming along. I mean, even Gigantha was almost relevant there, right? Just never quite had the mana for it. But it would have, if we'd been in a situation where we drew a Containment Priest or we drew a Static Prison or something to answer the sneak attack, Gigantha would have ended the game, because it would have come down and then smashed in a couple of times. So it was not irrelevant. Because I think about that sort of thing, right? Whether to try and bluff trap and that kind of thing after board, and I will do it against like super fast decks, but I've gone back and forth on whether I should be doing it against Doomsday or Show and Tell, and I think against Show and Tell you are not supposed to bluff trap. You're supposed to have Gigantha, just because things can stall out, and it does survive sweepers. So that's where my head's at on that after that match. There's a bunch of interesting paper events going on in Legacy this weekend, I think. There's like a tournament in Ottawa. There's something going on, like Austrian Legacy League, I think is happening this weekend, if that's like a national finals or something. That's being streamed. The British pre-modern nationals were yesterday, I believe. The UK ones. I think Enchantress put 4 copies in the top 8 or something, or maybe 2. I don't know, I don't really follow pre-modern. Event in Austria is 2 ELMQs back to back. Oh, cool. You're German, right? Not Austrian? Or am I wrong about that? Life? Yeah, Deutsch. Cool. You didn't want to go to the event? Yesterday was won by breakfast. Breakfast, interesting. You don't see much breakfast around these days. Oh, it's 8 hours? Okay. Fair enough. Oh, you're cute? I don't think I knew that. Was that from... What was that from? That wasn't from last year, was it? Because I don't think you were queued last year. No. You won ELMQ in Hanover. Cool. Yeah, I guess Germany is a large country. And Austria only borders part of it. Cool. Well, we will both be competing in the European Legacy Masters then this year. It'll be fun. I'm really looking forward to Eternal Mania, actually. I managed to get a team together for the trios on the Friday. I'm going to play Vintage. So I'm working on Vintage Energy. I played a league with Black-White. I'm going to try this Mardu list a bit, because I think Bombardment and Pyroblast are worth going Mardu for. So I'm going to try that, because I don't really like Dark Confidant that much. It might be better than Amped Rapture. Problem with Amped Rapture is you just like Rapture into a Mox, but I think that's fine when you have Lurrus, because you're just ramping into Lurrus. But so yeah, I'm going to keep trying that, see if I can get that ready for July. You played a league with Black White? Yeah, I played a league. I played a league where I went 3-2, losing to the same Dredge player twice because I punted twice against Dredge. So like the result wasn't that good, but the deck felt really good. Like it felt like it was doing vintage power level things, although, you know, there are obvious problems against fast combo and stuff. But yeah, running 5 Moxen is just like running 5 Moxen with a bunch of like colored mana, colorless mana, 2-drops actually just works very well, because you just play a pretty fast game. You don't like the deck, yeah. I liked it. I liked the Black-White one, and I want to try the Mardu one, but I haven't played much of it. Yeah, it's funny. Like the Pride Guide stuff is not that good, because again, you play 2-drops on turn 1 a lot. To be honest, I could see that. I could see just playing like Mardu aggro, or like Black-White aggro, with Ajani, a Cabal Therapy. Like, just, like, almost like that mono white list you played a long time ago with Lurrus. But with like new Modern Horizons cards, and like, yeah, either black, white, or Mardu. And just play, yeah, a bunch of hate bears. Play like the Spider Woman, play Mai. And then yeah, play like Goblin Bombardment Ajani, maybe, just to like win the fair games. I could see something like that working. Maybe I'll try and throw a list together for that. I do think that Guide Pride against stuff like the Lurrus Mirror, I don't really think you can get to 4 or 5 colors, because you just start to not being able to play your spells. I don't know about Justin's deck. I don't know what that is. I think you run into real issues with the mana, especially if you want to play Stony Silence in the sideboard. And I think you do want to play Stony Silence in the sideboard. Then you can't just, like, you need to be able to cast your spells after boarding. So you need to be comfortable with the idea that some of your Moxen will be off some of the time. I don't know. Do you think unpowered cats could have any legs? Dandrew 2000 asks. No, I don't. Because of the exact thing we're talking about. The reason it can be a vintage power level deck is because you get to play your 2-drops on turn 1. Like, you get to play Raptor turn 1, or you get to go like Lotus, Ajani, Therapy twice on turn 1. Like, if you don't have any draws like that, then I don't think you can play it. I think to play cats, like to play an unpowered deck in Vintage, you need to have acceleration that isn't power, which means you need something built around Dark Ritual, or you need something built around Ancient Tomb, like Spirit Guides, etc. You know, like how the mono white unpowered list plays Spirit Guides and Once Upon a Time. I don't think you can do that in Mardu colors. You got bopped by the mod. Yeah, you should be able to. How do I change these settings? I tell you what, I'm just going to be lazy. I'm just going to copy and paste your link. There you go. That's the thing that Grayman linked. Because I can see the deleted message. What is this? This is Justin's deck. What the hell is this? Yeah, okay, so this is humans. I played quite a lot of these types of decks in Legacy, trying to make them work with Bashim and Ang. And I couldn't quite get there. Maybe it would work better in Vintage. I don't know. The problem with Lotus Petal, Dandrew, is that it's restricted. And the problem with Chrome Mox is it's bad. So, yeah. If there was a white Dark Ritual, if there was a light ritual, maybe you could do like mono white energy, mono white cats, play a bunch of Thalias and stuff. I don't know. But then you run into the problem where, well, why am I not just playing initiative? Right? That's the problem with doing anything mono white now in Vintage, is you're like, well, why am I not just playing initiative? Hello, Benefica. Good luck to you too. I saw that you beat Doomsday round 1. Well done. Yeah, I guess these hate bears are better. Here, look, I'll bring this up. These hate bears are better in Vintage. Yeah, I think this could work. I'm not interested in playing it. I want to play... I like the energy cards. I'm going to try and make the energy cards work. So I am going to play like Pride Guide. I'm going to try and make Raptor work, etc. And just pair that with Loris. Just because I like those cards. But I think this is a very reasonable thing. I'm not sure how you would beat the Loris deck with this. Just because the creatures... If your opponent is playing a pile of Psychic Frogs and Fatal Pushes, I don't really see how you win. I also wouldn't build this... Well, maybe I would build it with Force of Will. But again, I don't want to play Force of Will because I don't want to be playing the blue cards. So, yeah, interesting. Can't hang and play Lurrus. Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be better. But what I really want... You're testing it tonight? Yeah. Send me the list you make and I'll give you an opinion on it before you play it if you want. Yeah, what I really want to do is play Ajani with Loris. I think that is like the... You hate opinions. Yeah, don't bother then. Just trophy and then tell me that you... Well, no one can ever trophy a Vintage League because a Vintage League takes 2 weeks to finish because of the queue times. But mono legendaries. I mean, you can do the... I was investigating both of these things in Legacy. Was A, the humans thing, and B, the legends thing. Because you can do the Plaza of Heroes, like... what's that dog called? Yoshimaru. You can do that. That's a thing. Or you can do like Yoshimaru, or you can do Champion of the Parish, and both of those things are huge. But yeah, I want to play Ajani with Loris in Vintage, and I think Ajani works best with these cards rather than with like a bunch of hate pairs. And I think that will give me a better matchup against fair Loris decks, and a worse matchup against combo. And I'm happy with that. I'm comfortable. That's where I usually sit, right? Is I usually put myself in the position where I'm favored against anything that's trying to do the same thing as me, and I just have to sweat against unfair stuff because I'm comfortable sweating against unfair stuff. So that's what I do. That's my thing. I think I lead on Caracas here. Hopefully don't get stifled. Opponent mulled. Having said all that, the nice thing about Lurrus is it does just give you an automatic win the late game button to press in your Hate Bears deck. And I noticed that when I played that Eternal Weekend a few years ago, where the most common... There was a pretty popular, like, Bant creature deck that was playing, like, Archon of Emeria and stuff. And those matchups were a face roll because you had Lurrus and they didn't. In 2026 Vintage, the problem is that everyone has Lurrus. So I don't think you can just be like, oh, I'm playing Lurrus, so I have a late game plan. Because they have Lurrus. Although you have swords. You have Lurrus and swords. Although maybe you can't play swords in this Hate Bears deck. I don't know. I'll let you build it. So this is Tron or Forge. This is kind of an interesting case study hand as to like, okay, what's my max? Like, what's my fastest possible clock here? And I think it's just Raptor. Like, Raptor cross your fingers, I think, is the fastest clock here. Because it gets the guide up immediately. Because I don't think having, like, playing Ajani into Bombardment is going to be that good without loads of creatures in play. You could also play Voice and hope to do something next turn, but I'm just gonna Raptor and be like, okay, I'm gonna hit Voice or Ajani off the Raptor. Because I think this is a spot where you want to get lucky. Boom. There you go. See? Easy peasy. Why play the Ajani when you can just flip Ajani off Raptor, huh? There we go. So now we high rolled them, and now we've got the best possible chance of winning game one against the bad matchup. Because we're basically going to kill them next turn. We're going to play Bombardment, and they're going to take a gajillion damage. I don't know how much exactly. What is this? Okay, command, kill the cat. Oh, that's pretty clever. Unfortunately, I drew the third land, so I can just fling a cat at you. Is that better than wasting you? I guess I just play. I guess I just play the other Ajani. Let me see. What's the most damage here? The highest. Oh, Needle. Thank you, thank you, Dandrew. I would have not. I remembered that. Streamer advantage. Streamer advantage. Okay, so I can't Wasteland. Okay, well that makes my choices simpler. So, if I play second Ajani, I could also play Pride. That would give me... Well... Playing second Ajani is the only way to get 3 energy. If I get 3 energy, I'm attacking for 7. Putting you to 10. And then I'm hitting you for... If I played second Ajani, I'd hit you for 1, 2, 3, 4. Or 5. Put you to 5. If I played Bombardment instead, I'd hit you for 1, 2, 3. Put you to 7, 6, 3. So I can't kill you either way. Which means my best line is this one. This puts you to 5, and it gives us a huge board. Massive. Now you can play the One Ring, and I can play Bombardment and kill you in your upkeep. There you go. That's how you win against Forge. You just win the die roll, and you go turn 1 Guide into turn 2 Raptor, hitting a Ajani. So that is, I think, Forge, because I saw an Ancient Tomb. So we can sideboard with that in mind. Not that it makes too much of a difference. I want all of the Shatters, and I want my Teague. We may want Cage. I don't think so. I don't think we want Cage. We don't want Scout. I think I'll shave a Voice. I think Instigator is better, yeah. It's just more damage. This only hits Forge specifically, which they don't even play anymore sometimes, so... Oh, this Swords, actually. I would rather cut 1 Swords. It does hit Fleshraker, which can be critical. Is Voice or Swords better? I think Swords is better because it does hit Fleshraker. Sometimes you can get an extra turn by swordsing Fleshraker. Just sucks to draw 2 of them, usually. But it would suck to draw 2 Voices as well, so... I think this is fine. I should have been faster there. Because here I want them to think about Trap. So I need to click through the Giganta faster. This is an interesting hand. It actually has 2 pretty good cards in it, in Wasteland and Timing Malfunction. Obviously there's no white mana. Basic Mountain sucks. I've cut the Basic Mountain before. I end up crawling back, but it's definitely cuttable. I kind of want to keep this. Am I nuts? It's probably nuts to keep this. It's like, what am I hoping to get that's better than this? I guess I'm hoping to get turn 2 Teague is better than this. And a 1-drop. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so this is a much better hand. I can't actually cast Teague, but I might draw a green source. What am I bottoming? I want to keep Once Upon a Time to try and get a Teague. It might just be the Ajani that goes on the bottom. Because these are more aggressive. And I don't have an enabler for Ajani yet. Yeah, okay, I'll put the Ajani on the bottom. I'm not sure if that's correct, but... Double Guide is pretty good. Because I can go turn 1, Guide, turn 2, Guide Pride. Turn 1, Nexus Candelabra. Well, that's very scary. If I had a Wasteland, if I kept the first hand, I would Wasteland this just right now. I can't take Teague anyway, because I don't have green. Ooh. I do have a Wasteland, though. Yeah, okay. I will make this bargain. Second. Okay, so this isn't Forge then. This is Tron. They're just playing Tomb for some reason. So we might want to sideboard slightly differently. Workshop Mine. Monolith. Next turn you can tap for 2 off this. Oh no, now you can tap for 2 off this. Right. So these are each worth 1. Right, so you have 4, 5 mana. You have 5 mana. Damn, 5 mana through a wasteland on turn 3. Okay, so you'll ring, you have 1 card in hand. You have protection this turn. So I probably want a Raptor next turn then. Yeah, so let's... Well, I don't know actually. Maybe Raptor there was better. Maybe Raptor was better there. I actually don't know. This looks pretty bad. Because they're just going to be able to cast Ugin very quickly. And I haven't done any damage to them. I do have Bombardment though. Bombardment is key here because it might be able to stop them from ring walking me. That's a lot of mana, right? This is 3, 6, 7. Probably like 11 mana? Are these adding 2 each now? Maybe even they're adding more. You put 2. No, they're adding 4 each. Okay, they have 15 mana. Yeah. There's the Ugin. Alright. Well, we tried. You still have 8 mana. Another ring. Hello, £65. 6-7 to you too. This is why you need Teague. I probably should have Raptored to try and hit Teague, to be honest. I probably should have just Raptored to hit Teague. Yeah. That was a mistake. I guess I will still Raptor to try and hit Static Prison. I'm going to Surveil first. There's an Abrade on top. That doesn't do anything. Do I want to show that to them? No, my chances of winning this game are so low that I'm just not even going to show them the Abrade. I mean, they probably know that I have sideboard cards. Okay, so I don't really want... I guess I'm just doing this instead. Does Swords even do anything? I guess it works against Saga tokens. Yeah, okay. And against the... I'm not sure what their exact list is. Against the Tron deck, I think I... If it's Tron, not Forge, I think I will reveal Gigantha. And we just really need Teague because they don't have very many outs to Teague, but we just really need that, to be honest. And yeah, just Raptoring all the time to try and hit Teague, etc., etc. I mean, this is double Wat, but it's also potential Teague, so I am going to keep this. They go to 6. Yeah, they had kind of a crazy draw, right? They had double Candelabra, 1 ring. I guess it's not that crazy. I'll Wat first. Teague? No Teague. I'll take the Raptor. I'll guide. Tomb. What are you going to do? Are you going to Monolith Trinisphere me? That would suck. That would suck. No, you're going to Flute Wasteland. All right. Or you could Flute Raptor. Oh, that would that would be annoying. I wonder if they do that. They did. What do I do now? Do I just waste you? I don't really like wasting Tomb, is the issue. How much does it cost more? It costs 3 more? Christ. Okay, I did not think about that when I took the second Raptor. That's so brutal. The fact that I just don't have another creature to play because I have 2 Raptors. Unbelievable. Okay. Yeah, alright. Let's, I don't want to waste. I want to save the waste for a different land, and I think I'm probably going to Once Upon a Time and try and find a... Oh my god. Yeah. I'm still gonna do that. I'm gonna try and find a... I don't know, Johnny? What am I even trying to find? The thing is, if I get green here, I don't draw... I can't draw any Shatter effect. Any of my 3 Shatter effects to kill the Flute. But the Trinisphere is basically blanking the Raptors anyway. Yeah. I think it's fine. Okay, so I can take either Voice or Pride. I think I'd take Voice here, yeah. We just have to take Voice and kind of hope they don't have anything. Oh, I drew Second Swords as well. Brutal. But, like, if you play a Nexus now, you have 6 mana. And then you can play a Ring, and then it's basically all over. Okay, you only have 4 mana. I guess you can still play a Ring. This looks like K command. Okay, you're gonna exile that and scry. Alright. Fine. My hand is completely blank, which is unbelievable. I don't even think I can waste because... I don't even think I can waste. Which is crazy. Put 1 top, 1 bottom. Because I need 5 mana. I need 5 mana. I'm going to buy Gigantha and not waste because I need 5 mana. And I don't like any of these waste targets because they, like, if I kill a tower, they already have a tower. I mean, it puts them, it means they're on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana instead of 9. Which I guess is better. But the Tomb is the only thing dealing them any damage, so I definitely don't want to waste the Tomb. It's just a nightmare game, to be honest. Ring? Can't, okay. How's the second Tomb? That's actually really good for me, that their next land is a second Tomb. They're just going to can't pass. You're not even going to plus. You know you can target nothing with the plus, right? Probably should have done that. So I need... What do I need here? Oh my god. Oh my god, look at this hand! Look at this hand. I have to take a screenshot of this. This is unbelievable. I've got 6 cards in my hand. I can't cast any of them. What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to waste? There's no way I can waste, surely. I can keep them off 6 mana, but it doesn't matter. I don't know. Like, yeah, they can. So they can minus Khan, get Lattice, play Lattice. Khan is at 4. Khan is at 2. I put Khan down to 1, and I have no plays. Oh, God. Because there's a Lattice. So I waste your... Let's say I waste your Tomb. You have 4 mana, possibly 5. You minus Khan. You get Ring. You play Ring. We play the game, but you win because you have a Ring. I don't... And I can't cast anything from my hand because I used my 4th land to waste you. Which means I have 4 blanks in my hand. I have to waste because I'm deterministically dead if I don't waste. I'm wondering if I can waste a tower, which would make me dead to a land. Yeah, I mean, imagine I'd taken a land off the... There's no way I'm supposed to take a land off the Once Upon a Time there, right? Is there? Surely no way. But if I'd done that, they would have named Wasteland with this. I would have been able to play my Raptor. We would have been able to have a great time. Well, probably still would have lost, but we would have been able to play a game. This is unbelievable. You would have to have a land. You probably do have a land, so I probably have to kill the tomb. What am I drawing to? Like, what gets me out of this? Teague, I guess. Literally just raw dog Teague. Oh, God. You had another tomb. I thought they might. You get Lattice. And we lose. Oh no! He was on top! There was a Teague on top. This is unbelievable. I'm just gonna, like, let them... Like, maybe they don't see the line, I don't know. They will. They'll just plus and... Like, they just have to plus. Yeah, we're just locked out now. Alright, GG's. Okay, I'm not being funny. These were the, like, most BM, like, unlucky rounds of Magic. I don't think I've ever had a tournament where I was like so unlucky without playing badly, if that makes sense. I often feel like I get unlucky while playing badly, but I don't feel like we played badly at all. I think we made like pretty much all the correct decisions, and everything just went as wrong as it could. It wasn't even the matchups. Like the matchups are fine. I can beat Sneak and Show, and I can beat Forge. Well, Tron maybe not, but we just everything just lined up the wrong way around the whole way through. We had 2 games where the deck just worked and the opponent didn't do anything and we just ran over them. And then the other 4 games were excruciating. So, unfortunately, I have no verdict on how good Agate Instigator is because we just spent the whole tournament getting agonizingly close to locking out combo opponents. And I'm not interested in playing any more of this tournament because I think it is a sign from the universe that this is not where I am supposed to be today. This is not what I'm meant to be doing. Well, I mean, those are some more timers though. Those games, the 3 Pyroblast into Sneak Attack game, and the triple Raptor into Flute game. Why not play Chrome Mox? Card disadvantage. You can't afford the card disadvantage against fair decks. Chrome Mox is a very bad card. It works in very specific contexts, and it works best alongside something like the One Ring where you can recoup the cards. This kind of deck, you need every card in your hand to like do something, right? You're a mid-range deck. You've got to trade resources. You've got to grind them out. You've got to be efficient. Chrome Mox doesn't do any of that. So, but as ever, if you disagree, put it in a deck list, try it out, see what happens. All right, guys, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get some lunch. I'm gonna take the dog out, and I'm gonna ask the Lord what I did to deserve these 2 rounds today. And I will hopefully be able to stream next week as well. So probably have another challenge for you next week, and probably just run back the same list. To be honest, I still like the list. I like how it played. Just got ruinously unlucky a couple of times today. So yeah, see you around, and I hope you enjoyed the stream today.